And that's what I would love for the Muppets is like an episodic film
Yes.
that it just explores the characters. And it, I think they're in the right direction with the ABC show. I liked it. I think it would be really cool because the Muppets, they either act like they are real characters, real people in our world, and they're just actors. And then there's times where they play characters, like the Muppet Caper, Treasure Island, Christmas Carol. And I think it'd be really cool to see the Muppets again playing characters in an existing story that's created, and they're just like actors in that, and it could be broken up into a series.
You know what's funny is I think that Muppet show would do a lot better today than it did when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Because look at the shows that are popular right now. The Office, Parks and Rec, and it is literally that formula with a Muppet show.
And it would work well on streaming as opposed to
that ABC Muppet show was so underrated.
Really was.
So good.
I'm surprised no one has started talking about it on social media yet.
It was one of the very few shows on TV that I actively go out of my way to watch when it was on.
The thing is, it got good press and people were talking about it and watching it, and it did well. It was just these mom bloggers and people online that were saying the Muppets shouldn't be in these kinds of situations. And then that's why they took it down, because they didn't want to offend. I think they believed that the Muppets were marketed towards young kids, when the reality is the creation of these characters were for everybody, and they steered more towards adults. And I think they got really cold feet.
The way I see it is that they created the Muppets such a long time ago, and they realized that their audience grew up, so they're still trying to take it to the same audience. That's just the way I'm seeing it. So they obviously were starting to go a little bit more towards the adult side of the humor, which I personally appreciate. But I can kind of see where people would be a little upset because there's something to get upset with over everything these days.
But that's the thing. The Muppets were always crossing that line of adult humor. I mean, you have Kermit the Frog talking about his sex life, and other things. And Jim Henson never said this is for kids. That's why they created Sesame Street. There was a differentiation between the two. And it was never vulgar, but it was never geared towards just a younger demographic. That wasn't the intention. And then I think Disney buying it just didn't realize, or the people behind it don't realize that. And they think it's for kids, but it should be for everybody. And it can delve into different topics without it feeling, I don't know. They should they're putting these weird barriers, and with that, it just feels dull and bland. And that's sadly what the Muppets are right now.
Yeah, they're just on Facebook video conference commercials.
They're just generic. It feels very generic, and it's very different than the reason why people like these characters is just based on memories they used to have of them. It's nothing that is currently happening, or more likely will happen with these characters, unless they bring somebody on to really revitalize them and make them behave in the manner that they were created.
The thing I don't get is why they canceled the Josh Gad project and
I don't know.
all these other projects. Why cancel it? What was wrong with it? Was it a little too adult for them? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. They don't want to take risks with the Muppets. They went, nah, the show was risky enough for us. It's guys, I think it's time to move on and just take the risk again. See if it works. It's a streaming service. If it doesn't work, move on.
Mm-hmm.
Make other content. But don't just leave these characters to rot in the backlot.